One of the most common questions men quietly worry about but rarely talk openly about is penis size. There's so much misinformation, comparison, and anxiety surrounding it that many men carry unnecessary stress, often thinking it defines their worth, masculinity, or attractiveness. The truth is, health is far more important than size, and what really matters is how well your body is functioning overall. Confidence, energy, stamina, and long term health are shaped by your daily habits, not by a number you can't control. Many men face challenges like low self esteem, performance anxiety, and even relationship stress because of size concerns, but these worries often overlook the bigger picture. Things like obesity, smoking, excessive alcohol use, poor sleep, and high stress have a much greater impact on blood flow, hormone levels, and overall sexual health. When the body is not cared for, circulation weakens, energy drops, and confidence suffers, regardless of size. The encouraging news is that you can take real steps to improve your health and, in turn, your confidence. Maintaining a healthy weight, eating more whole foods, staying active, managing stress, and getting enough rest all improve circulation, hormone balance, and vitality. These changes not only support better sexual health, but also strengthen the way you feel and carry yourself every day. Size may be the question men ask, but health is the answer that truly makes the difference. When men think about their bodies, one of the first insecurities that often comes up is size. It is a topic surrounded by myths, comparisons, and cultural pressure, leading many to believe it defines their masculinity or worth. From a young age, social conversations, media portrayals, and even casual jokes create an environment where size becomes overemphasized. But the reality is that most men worry about this unnecessarily. Medical studies consistently show that the average size is within a normal range and that variations are far less significant than people are led to believe. What truly matters far more than size is overall health and how well the body is functioning. Many men spend years carrying silent anxiety, comparing themselves to unrealistic standards, or fearing they are not enough. This mental burden often does more damage than the physical reality. Anxiety over size can lead to lowered self-esteem, performance issues, and even strain in relationships. Partners, however, are far more concerned with qualities like intimacy, communication, and confidence than with measurements. The focus on size alone distracts from the bigger truth. Health, vitality, and the ability to maintain strong circulation and hormonal balance are what truly support a man's sexual wellness. Health professionals emphasize that men who obsess over size are often overlooking more pressing issues. Cardiovascular health, for example, plays a critical role in sexual function. The same arteries and veins that supply blood to the heart and brain also support sexual performance. If those blood vessels are clogged or weakened due to lifestyle factors such as poor diet, lack of exercise, smoking, or excessive alcohol consumption, performance can suffer regardless of size. In fact, difficulties with erections or stamina are often early warning signs of underlying conditions like hypertension, diabetes, or high cholesterol. Focusing on improving these health markers provides benefits not just for sexual health, but for overall longevity and energy. Another overlooked factor is hormone health. Testosterone levels naturally fluctuate with age, but lifestyle has a powerful influence on how much decline a man experiences. Obesity, poor sleep, and chronic stress can all suppress testosterone, which in turn affects energy, mood, muscle mass, and sexual performance. Again, these are issues rooted in health, not size. A man who maintains healthy hormone balance through consistent habits feels stronger, more confident, and more capable. That presence, both physically and mentally, is far more impactful than a measurement. It is also important to understand how the mind influences performance and perception. Anxiety creates a cycle where stress hormones interfere with circulation and arousal, leading to more worry and less confidence. Men who fixate on size often place so much pressure on themselves they cannot fully relax or enjoy intimacy. This cycle reinforces the idea that size is the problem, when in reality, the root issue is the psychological toll of comparison and worry. Learning to shift the focus from insecurity to overall health, self-respect, and communication with a partner can break this cycle. Daily lifestyle choices play the biggest role in determining how a man feels about his body and how his body functions. Men who eat nourishing foods, exercise regularly, manage stress, and get quality sleep not only improve their circulation and hormone levels, but also build confidence in the process. Their bodies respond with more energy, stronger performance, and greater vitality. These changes are visible in posture, facial expression, and overall presence. Partners notice when a man carries himself with health and confidence, and those qualities outweigh size in importance. When men shift their perspective away from comparison and toward health, they often realize that their anxiety was misplaced. Medical professionals repeatedly remind patients that the majority of men fall into a very normal range and that concerns about size rarely match reality. The more pressing issue is how the body is cared for day after day. Good habits create strength, stamina, and confidence, while neglect leads to fatigue, poor circulation, and dissatisfaction. In this sense, health becomes the true measurement that matters. Focusing on health rather than size also opens the door to greater self-acceptance and stronger relationships. Partners value men who are present, attentive, and confident in themselves, and these qualities stem from how a man feels inside his own body. Taking care of health builds that inner confidence, which in turn enhances intimacy and connection. What most men don't realize is that confidence supported by health is what leaves the lasting impression, not the numbers they worry about. The truth is simple. Men worry far too much about size when the real difference is made by overall health. Size is a static trait with little impact compared to the dynamic influence of lifestyle, vitality, and self-care. A man who takes ownership of his health projects strength and assurance in a way that size alone could never accomplish. Poor lifestyle habits like smoking, drinking excessive alcohol, eating unhealthy foods, and neglecting physical activity slowly weaken the very systems that support confidence and sexual health. Men often underestimate just how much these choices affect circulation, stamina, and hormone balance, but the body always reveals the truth. Blood flow is central to performance and vitality, and anything that damages blood vessels has a direct impact. Smoking, for example, narrows and stiffens arteries, reducing circulation throughout the body. Alcohol, when consumed excessively, dulls the nervous system, lowers testosterone, and interferes with energy. Overeating processed foods and sugar adds weight, especially around the midsection, which increases inflammation and reduces blood flow even further. Each of these habits chips away at the foundation of health, and over time, the effects are hard to hide. Confidence is closely tied to how the body feels. A man who struggles with fatigue, shortness of breath, or poor circulation often finds it difficult to carry himself with assurance. He may notice that he has less energy for intimacy, less motivation to exercise, or less focus during the day. These struggles send subtle signals that are noticed by others, even if not spoken out loud. Women in particular can sense when a man is weighed down by unhealthy habits because it shows in posture, energy levels, and overall presence. Instead of radiating vitality, the body reflects strain, and this shift can influence perception more than many realize. Obesity is another powerful example of how lifestyle habits impact health. Carrying excess weight, especially around the waistline, is strongly linked to lower testosterone levels, higher risk of diabetes, and reduced stamina. These conditions not only increase health risks, but also affect confidence in daily life. Men may find themselves avoiding certain activities, feeling more self-conscious, or losing drive. The cycle deepens when low confidence leads to more unhealthy choices, such as stress eating or skipping exercise, which only worsen the problem. Breaking this cycle requires intentional changes, but the rewards are significant: better circulation, stronger energy, and restored confidence. Stress plays a hidden but equally damaging role. Many men turn to smoking, alcohol, or poor eating habits as a way of coping with stress, but these choices only provide temporary relief while harming long-term health. Chronic stress increases cortisol levels, which not only suppress testosterone, but also drive fat storage and weaken the immune system. Over time, stress erodes both physical health and mental stability. A man who manages stress through healthier methods like exercise, relaxation, or mindfulness sends a very different different signal to the world. His body language shows calmness and control, qualities that stem from balanced health and are more attractive than size or appearance alone. Another overlooked aspect is sleep. Poor lifestyle habits often disrupt sleep quality, whether it's from late nights, alcohol consumption, or stress. Inadequate sleep throws off hormones, decreases energy, and interferes with recovery. This creates a cycle where the body cannot fully restore itself, leading to more fatigue, more cravings for unhealthy foods, and less motivation to stay active. Sleep, when prioritized, allows the body to heal, regulate hormones, and maintain vitality. It is one of the simplest yet most powerful habits for protecting health and confidence. The good news is that the body is remarkably responsive to change. Quitting smoking, limiting alcohol, improving diet, and adding regular exercise can reverse years of damage. Within weeks of adopting healthier habits, circulation improves, energy rises, and hormone balance begins to restore itself. Men often notice a boost in mood, confidence, and performance when they commit to these changes, and the people around them notice too. Women, who often pay attention to subtle cues of health, can see the difference in posture, energy, and even facial expression. It's important to remember that these changes are not about perfection or strict rules. They are about creating a lifestyle that supports the body instead of harming it. Choosing to cook more meals at home, to take walks daily, to set boundaries around alcohol use, or to manage stress without harmful coping mechanisms all build a foundation of health. Each habit is like a small investment that grows over time, and together they create a body that functions better and a man who feels stronger. Confidence grows when the body is cared for because health and self-esteem are deeply connected. Men who commit to healthier routines often find that their mindset shifts as well. They carry themselves differently, they interact with more assurance, and they feel more comfortable in their own skin. These changes do not depend on size, but on the visible signs of vitality that emerge from good health. Poor lifestyle habits silently drain this vitality, but positive habits restore it, making health the true measure of strength and presence. Hormone balance, circulation, and stamina are the hidden forces that determine how a man feels and functions, and they are shaped every single day by lifestyle choices. Men often underestimate the role hormones play, yet testosterone is central to energy, muscle strength, mood, and sexual health. When testosterone levels are healthy, men feel more confident, motivated, and capable. When levels drop, fatigue, weight gain, low mood, and reduced performance quickly follow. This balance does not decline overnight. It is influenced by daily actions like diet, exercise, sleep, and stress management. Excess weight, lack of activity, smoking, or poor sleep habits all work against healthy hormone levels, creating imbalances that affect not only the body, but also self-esteem. Circulation is equally important because it fuels the body with oxygen and nutrients. Strong, healthy blood flow supports energy, stamina, and sexual function, while poor circulation leads to fatigue, difficulty maintaining performance, and even chronic health issues. The same blood vessels that carry oxygen to muscles and the brain also supply the reproductive system, which means cardiovascular health and sexual health are deeply connected. Habits like regular exercise, eating nutrient-dense foods, and staying hydrated strengthen circulation, while habits like smoking, drinking excessively, or consuming processed foods weaken it. A man may not notice the gradual changes immediately, but over time, poor circulation shows itself in reduced endurance, slower recovery, and lower vitality. Stamina ties these two elements together, acting as the measure of how well the body sustains itself under physical and mental demands. Stamina is not just about athletic ability, it is about having the energy to meet daily responsibilities, to engage fully in relationships, and to live with purpose. Men who neglect their health often notice their stamina slipping. Tasks that once felt easy begin to feel draining, motivation decreases, and fatigue becomes a constant companion. On the other hand, men who prioritize consistent movement, balanced nutrition, and proper rest often find themselves able to perform better in every aspect of life. Their stamina allows them to handle challenges more effectively, and this vitality is noticed by others without a word needing to be said. Hormone health can be supported naturally through lifestyle. Resistance training is one of the most effective ways to boost testosterone levels, as building muscle signals the body to produce more of this critical hormone. Adequate sleep is another cornerstone because testosterone production peaks during rest, particularly deep sleep. Men who consistently sacrifice rest are unknowingly lowering their hormone balance, which then impacts mood, energy, and motivation. Nutrition plays a vital role as well. Diets rich in lean protein, healthy fats like omega-3s, and micronutrients such as zinc and magnesium provide the building blocks for hormone production. Conversely, diets loaded with sugar, processed food, and alcohol disrupt hormone levels and weaken overall health. Circulation improves significantly through cardiovascular activity. Activities like brisk walking, cycling, swimming, or even regular stretching enhance blood vessel flexibility and heart strength. These habits not only improve endurance, but also reduce the risk of diseases that directly interfere with stamina and performance. Avoiding smoking is especially important as it constricts blood vessels and reduces oxygen flow throughout the body. Even hydration makes a difference. Blood is largely composed of water, and dehydration thickens it, making circulation less efficient. Small habits like drinking enough water daily and including movement throughout the day all contribute to stronger circulation. Stamina grows gradually with consistency. Building it does not require extreme workouts or dramatic diets. It requires daily commitment to habits that push the body gently but steadily. Men who make small changes, such as walking more, climbing stairs instead of taking the elevator, or choosing balanced meals over processed snacks, find that their endurance builds naturally. Over time, this creates a body that is more resilient, more capable, and more confident. Stamina is also supported by mental health. A clear, focused mind reduces unnecessary stress, allowing physical energy to be used more effectively. Practices such as mindfulness, deep breathing, or relaxation exercises help conserve energy and strengthen endurance in the long run. The interconnection between hormone balance, circulation, and stamina cannot be overstated. Each one influences the other, creating either a positive or negative cycle. When testosterone levels are healthy, energy is higher, motivation for exercise increases, and circulation improves through movement. Better circulation supports stamina, which allows for greater consistency and healthy habits. This cycle builds a foundation of vitality that becomes visible in how a man carries himself. Conversely, when lifestyle choices damage circulation, hormones suffer, stamina declines, and energy drops, creating a downward spiral that impacts health and confidence. Men who take ownership of these areas find that their bodies respond with renewed strength and vitality. They feel more capable, more confident, and more in control of their lives. The difference is noticeable in their energy, their posture, and their presence. These qualities do not depend on size or external comparisons, but on the strength built through consistent care for hormone health, circulation, and stamina. This is what creates lasting confidence and resilience, silently communicating strength without a single word. Good nutrition, regular exercise, proper sleep, and stress control are often referred to as the cornerstones of health, but their importance becomes even more pronounced when looking at men's sexual and overall well-being. Each one of these pillars influences hormone balance, blood circulation, energy, and mood, all of which are critical for vitality and confidence. Men who consistently prioritize these areas see not only physical benefits, but also improvements in mental health, relationships, and overall quality of life. Women and partners often notice these differences quickly because the body and mind reveal the effects of these habits in subtle yet powerful ways. Nutrition is one of the most direct and influential factors. The foods chosen daily either fuel the body for strength or slowly drain it. Diets heavy in processed foods, sugars, fried meals, and excessive alcohol increase inflammation, cause weight gain, and harm circulation. Over time, these habits contribute to lower testosterone, reduced stamina, and higher risk of chronic illness. On the other hand, eating whole foods, lean proteins, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and healthy fats, provides the body with essential nutrients that support blood flow, energy, and hormone production. Minerals like zinc and magnesium play a role in testosterone regulation, while antioxidants from fruits and vegetables protect blood vessels from damage. A man who builds his meals around these foods experiences better vitality, and this strength is noticed in the way he carries himself and the energy he projects. Exercise is another critical habit that directly affects both physical and mental health. Cardiovascular workouts improve circulation, ensuring that blood vessels remain flexible and strong. Strength training stimulates muscle growth, which encourages the body to produce more testosterone naturally. Beyond hormones and circulation, exercise boosts mood through endorphins, reduces stress, and builds confidence in appearance and capability. Men who are active regularly tend to have more energy, better posture, and greater stamina, which becomes visible in everyday interactions. They don't need to say anything, people can sense the difference in their presence. Conversely, inactivity leads to stiffness, low energy, and weight gain, all of which undermine health and confidence. Sleep is often overlooked, but it is one of the most powerful tools for restoring balance. During deep sleep, the body repairs tissues, balances hormones, and recharges energy systems. Testosterone levels in particular peak during rest, which means poor sleep directly affects sexual health and overall vitality. Men who stay up late, sleep inconsistently, or get fewer than 6 to 7 hours of quality sleep often notice fatigue, irritability, and reduced drive. Over time, this lack of rest makes it harder to maintain a healthy weight, sustain energy, or stay motivated. On the other hand, men who prioritize regular sleep patterns wake up sharper, more focused, and with a stronger sense of well-being. These qualities are noticed by others because they shape how a man looks and behaves in daily life. Stress control ties all of these elements together. Modern life is filled with pressures from work, family, and responsibilities, and many men carry these burdens silently. Chronic stress raises cortisol levels, which suppress testosterone, encourage fat storage, and weaken the immune system. It also disrupts sleep, increases cravings for unhealthy food, and reduces motivation for exercise. This creates a cycle where stress slowly erodes health and confidence. Developing healthy ways to manage stress, whether through meditation, mindfulness, physical activity, prayer, or simply taking time to rest, helps break this cycle. A calm, balanced presence is one of the strongest signals of health and resilience, and it comes from managing stress effectively. So, the Mount says, help food become abundant, help ocean. The power of these four pillars lies in their connection. Good nutrition supports better sleep and exercise recovery. Exercise improves sleep quality and helps regulate stress. Sleep restores energy and balances hormones, making it easier to make healthy food and lifestyle choices. Stress control preserves energy and discipline, making it possible to stay consistent in the other three areas. Together, they form a cycle of health that continually reinforces itself. When one area is neglected, the others often suffer. But when all four are maintained, the benefits multiply and create a lasting foundation of vitality. Men who invest in these habits often find that the improvements extend far beyond physical health. Their confidence grows, their energy becomes more reliable, and their relationships improve because they feel stronger and more present. These changes are noticeable without needing to be pointed out. Women and others naturally pick up on the signals of health through body language, tone of voice, and overall energy. Instead of being defined by insecurities about size or appearance, men who live by these habits are defined by strength, balance, and vitality. These qualities are not built overnight, but through daily commitment. And they remain one of the most powerful ways to transform health and perception. Daily habits are the quiet architects of men's health, shaping not only how the body functions, but also how it is perceived. Unlike sudden efforts or quick fixes, it is the repeated everyday actions that determine hormone balance, circulation, energy levels, and confidence. These choices accumulate silently, influencing posture, mood, and presence in ways that others, especially women, quickly notice. Every meal, every hour of sleep, every choice to move or stay still, and every decision to manage or ignore stress becomes a thread in the larger fabric of health. Over time, those threads weave a clear picture of vitality or decline, and it is this picture that speaks more loudly than words. The foods chosen each day have a powerful influence. Consistently eating meals rich in processed ingredients, excess sugar, and refined fats signals neglect over time. The body responds with weight gain, poor energy, and sluggish circulation. These effects may not be immediate, but they build gradually until they become visible in how a man looks and feels. On the other hand, habits like choosing whole foods, cooking balanced meals, and staying hydrated create a body that runs more efficiently. When nutrition becomes a daily priority, energy steadies, mood improves, and hormone balance strengthens. This reliability becomes visible in sharper focus, steadier stamina, and an overall presence of health that does not go unnoticed. Movement is another daily habit that carries immense weight. The body is designed for activity, yet modern routines often keep men sitting for hours, leading to stiffness, poor posture, and reduced energy. A man who chooses to move daily, whether through structured workouts, walks, stretching, or even small bursts of activity throughout the day, maintains stronger circulation, healthier muscles, and greater stamina. These habits may seem simple, but their effect accumulates. Over weeks and months, the difference becomes clear. A man who moves regularly carries himself with vitality, while a man who avoids activity often shows signs of fatigue and imbalance. Women are particularly attuned to this difference, interpreting movement and posture as signals of discipline and overall well-being. Rest is one of the most overlooked yet crucial habits. Many men push themselves with late nights, long work hours, or constant distractions, believing that sleep can be sacrificed without consequence. But the body eventually reveals the truth. Poor sleep affects mood, energy, metabolism, and hormone levels. It shows in irritability, lack of focus, and fatigue that no amount of caffeine can truly cover. Daily habits that protect sleep, turning off screens before bed, setting regular sleep times, and creating a restful environment give the body space to repair and restore. The benefits of this consistency are visible: clearer eyes, sharper focus, more stable energy, and a calmer presence. These traits send powerful signals of health and balance without the need for explanation. Stress management is another area where daily habits make or break health. Chronic stress silently drains energy and undermines both physical and mental stability. The choices men make in response to stress, whether reaching for alcohol, smoking, or unhealthy foods, or instead choosing healthier coping strategies like exercise, deep breathing, or mindfulness, shape their health outcomes. Stress cannot be eliminated, but it can be managed. And the daily strategies used to do so create a noticeable difference in how a man interacts with the world. A man who handles stress with calmness and resilience projects confidence and balance, qualities that others instinctively respect. Small daily choices add up to powerful long-term outcomes. Skipping exercise one day may not matter, but skipping it consistently builds into stiffness and reduced stamina. Choosing unhealthy meals occasionally may not harm much, but making them the norm gradually reshapes the body and drains energy. Staying up late once might feel harmless, but repeated nights of poor sleep create fatigue and imbalance that are impossible to hide. Conversely, choosing movement, nourishing foods, adequate sleep, and healthier stress management again and again builds resilience, vitality, and confidence that radiates outward. The reason these habits are so influential is because they create consistency, and consistency is what others notice most. A man who takes care of himself regularly projects reliability, not just in health, but in life. His body language is steadier, his energy more dependable, and his presence stronger. Women often view these qualities as signs of discipline and stability, interpreting them as reflections of character. Daily habits may feel private, but their results are always public. Even mindset is shaped by habit. Thoughts repeated daily, whether they are focused on growth or on self-doubt, eventually shape behavior and presence. Gratitude, focus, and discipline practiced every day influence posture, tone, and confidence just as much as food or exercise. These mental habits guide choices, reinforce physical health, and create an inner stability that shows outwardly. Over time, they form part of the unspoken language of health that others, often without realizing it, respond to. The power of daily habits lies in their quiet repetition. They do not announce themselves loudly, but they slowly carve out health, confidence, and vitality that no single act can achieve. When men commit to positive routines, healthy eating, consistent movement, adequate rest, and mindful stress management, they create a cycle of strength that builds upon itself day after day. This cycle becomes visible to others, influencing how they are perceived and respected. In this way, habits are not just private routines, but the true expression of health, silently shaping the judgments that are made without a single word.